Hey, how's it going, folks? It's me, Tabo, and welcome to another devlog. So I'm just going to take you through what I've done. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do much because we're currently experiencing extreme power outages. So I didn't manage to put in a lot of work, but the little bit that I did, I'm just going to take you through. Here in front of me, I've got something that I played around with in Blender, just in terms of design. I would like to try doing something like this. One other idea was having ones and zeros. So I had the idea of using this block like which almost looks like a pine cone, but then to have ones and zeros on it. I did a small test with that. That didn't really work out because it was not so easy to align the ones and zeros with the block, and I don't want to do it manually because it's quite tedious, but who knows. Just for a test, it just was not what I was expecting, so I just totally ditched that. Okay, so then I went back to my Threejs scene because I wanted to test my ray casting. So I then wrote a bit of code for ray casting. Okay, so here's the code that I used to do my ray casting. I used the player forward in my ray cast, so get forward vector. So this is what is determining the direction. So then I went back, but the problem is that because my whole scene is being calculated by Octree, then these objects are not selectable. Basically, the ray cast does not detect them. So what I did then was create a few objects on the side that I did not import through GLTF. I just put a random sphere and a cube just to see if that works, and luckily that did work. So I'm just going to show you that. So now I'm in my Threejs scene, and inside my mouse move event listener, I'm logging if there are any intersected objects. So this is what's happening here. You see? So these are the objects that are being intersected. So now I'm gonna try to see if I can grab an object just with the mouse click. So I'm just gonna add that to the code and show you how that works. So now I'm back in my scene again. So I'm gonna try to grab this sphere. You see? So now with the mouse click, I managed to grab this. Okay, so that works. But this is now a problem because it is not as easy then to remove it. So I decided to rather use key press event. So what I'm gonna do is then use my Q and E. So I'm gonna use Q to parent an object. Basically, I'm parenting this to the camera. Okay, as you can see, it's moving with me. And then when I press E, then I want to let it go. So let's see what happens. So as you can see, I'm grabbing my sphere, then I let it go. Okay, so there it is. So this is the part that I still have to figure out in terms of how do I manage to release the sphere or whichever object that I grab, and then let it stay wherever the position is when I released it. This is something that I have to figure out because I'm not quite sure how to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same with the cube. Let's grab the cube. Let me move around with it. So now I'm going to let it go. Okay, so now the cube is next to the sphere. So this is what's happening here, okay? So far, this is what I've managed to create. Well, these are just tests, just to get an idea of how this whole thing will work best. So one other thing that happened earlier is that when I was, basically what I'm doing here is attaching an object to the camera. Okay, so what I also did is that I created another screen because I was having some issues. I created a screen so that I could see where the object moving around with the camera. So this was just something that I did just to be able to see what's going on. So I created a second renderer. As you can see, now I have a second screen over here. on the top right. So I just did this so that I could see how everything was moving. It's a bit complicated. I forgot what the problem was, but in the beginning when I was selecting an object, it just disappeared from the scene. I just didn't know where it went, so that was a problem. So because of that, then I had to create a second screen so that I could try to see when I parent it or when I attach it, where is it going, because it was just disappearing from the scene. So I created the second window here on the top right, so you can see how that works too. It's just basically a second view of what is happening. That's nothing fancy. So as you can see now that I'm moving around the stage with the sphere. You can't see the camera because I don't have a camera helper, but this is what's happening. So I did this just to be able to see what is happening. So probably the best option for this would be an orthographic camera if you wanted to have something like this. Okay, so the other thing that I did is add some fog. So I added some fog just to see how it would look, because this would be cool, you know, to not actually see everything all at once, but it makes it more mysterious, you know, it makes you want to explore more. So you can just see a little bit that there's something in the distance. And I like this kind of color. I tried white, and white just looked it looked like chalk. So this I like because it just matches the atmosphere a little bit. Maybe I might make it a bit lighter, we'll see. There's still so many things that will change as I go, but yeah, this was cool. I like it, so I can definitely see myself using this. Let's just get over here without falling, and yeah, you can see this is what you can expect. Whoop, just fell down. Okay, so pretty much this is what I've been doing, but as you can see there in my top right corner, when I add fog, then that also affects the view, because everything now is foggy and you can't actually see anything from the top right view. So that is something to keep in mind. If I'm going to have a second window, then it would probably have to be a different scene. Okay, because at the moment I'm just using the same scene but just rendering it from a different camera and renderer. Okay, so yeah, I'd say this is it for this devlog, and I will be continuing and I will keep you updated as I go. So yeah, with all that said, love and peace. I'm out.